Hello friends, today we'll complete the exercise of chapter 8. In the last video I had given answers for questions number 1 to 5. Today we'll try to find the answers from question number 6 to question number 10. Okay, let's start straight away. Question number 6. Please take out your books and read the questions. A blacksmith hammers a hot piece of iron while making a tool. How does the force due to hammering affect the piece of iron? Basically, what does the blacksmith do? He makes different objects of iron. These objects have different shapes. Now, how does he give shape to the iron? He will hot the iron. When the iron is fairly hot, he will beat it. He will apply force. So when he applies force, the shape will change. So what we'll say? The force due to hammering, hammering is a verb. Hammer is a noun, hammering is verb. Hammering will change the shape of piece of iron. Whatever piece of iron he is working on, it is hot, and when he beats it, the shape will change. So that is the impact of the force on, and even the size may also change. Shape and size. It will change the shape and size. Shape and size of piece of iron. Let us say it is a small piece of iron. He keeps on beating it, it becomes a fairly big piece of plate. The shape is different and size is different. This he does by hammering the hot piece of iron. So that is one of the effects of the force. So I told you in the previous class that when you apply force on an object, there will be change of state of motion, or there will be change of shape or size. So in this case, it is change of shape and size. Question number 7. An inflated balloon was pressed against a wall after it had been rubbed with a piece of synthetic cloth. It was found that the balloon sticks to the wall. What force is responsible? So when the rubber of the balloon is rubbed against a synthetic fiber, the balloon's rubber becomes charged. So the balloon becomes charged. Basically, the rubber of the balloon becomes charged when rubbed against a synthetic cloth. Synthetic cloth means a cloth which is made of synthetic material. And since the wall is uncharged, we have only rubbed the balloon. So balloon is charged. There is no charge on the wall. So the balloon will attract. Balloon being charged, because it is charged, it will attract the wall and stick to it. So we rub the balloon, we keep it against the wall, there is no charge on the wall is uncharged, balloon is charged, and the charged body always attracts the uncharged body. So they attract each other and the balloon will stick with the wall. And what is this force? This is electrostatic force. The force acting on the balloon and wall between is electrostatic force. I'll give the name here. electrostatic force acts between wall and balloon. Why the electrostatic force? Because the balloon is charged. And how it becomes charged? When we rub it against the synthetic fiber. The rubber of the balloon will become charged. And there will be an electrostatic force that will act between wall and the Name the forces acting on a plastic body containing water held above the ground in your hand. Discuss why the force acting on the bucket do not bring change on its motion. Let us say you are holding a bucket filled with water. You are holding it by your hand. So you are pulling it down, pulling it up. You are pulling it up. But the force of gravity is pulling it down. Gravity is the force that is attracted by Earth on all objects. Gravity is pulling it down. If both the forces are equal, the bucket will not move. If the applied force is greater, the bucket will move up, down. If the applied force is lesser, the bucket will go down. So what is the answer? You can say there are two forces acting on the bucket. One is the muscular pull applied by the hand, and second is the force of gravity that is acting on the bucket. If both the forces are equal in magnitude, the bucket will not move, it will remain stationary. So this is the answer. Muscular force applied by the hand and force of gravity are the forces acting on bucket. These are two forces which are acting on the bucket. If both forces are equal, in magnitude, quantity of the force is same, bucket will not move. It will neither go up nor go down. It will remain stationary. Okay? If you are holding it bucket, because the force applied by your hand and the force of the gravity are equal in magnitude. So that is your question number 8. So let us come to question number 9. A rocket has been fired upwards to launch a satellite in its orbit. Name two forces acting on the rocket immediately after leaving the launching pad. So same with the arrow. Arrow moved ahead because it was pulled and released. So there were two forces acting on the arrow. One was gravity, which was pulling it down, and the friction, which was in the opposite direction. Same thing with the rocket. When the rocket is launched, it will go up because the power of the engine will move it up. And there will be two forces acting on it. One is gravity, the force applied by Earth, and the other is friction, because there is air in the atmosphere and the rocket will be in contact with the air. So when two objects are in contact and they move, a force of friction comes into play. And the direction of the force of friction is always in opposite direction, opposite to the direction of movement. The rocket is moving in this direction, the friction will be acting in this direction. So what is the answer? The force of gravity and force of friction will be acting on the rocket immediately when it starts moving. The force of gravity is because of the pull of the earth, and the force of friction is because of the contact in the air, with the air. So you please try writing this answer. You must learn how to write answers. I have given you the basic reasoning. Reasoning is when an object starts moving, there will be force of friction, and the direction of force of friction will be opposite to the direction of the movement. And second is the force of gravity, which acts on all bodies on the earth. Question number 10. Last question. When we press the bulb of a dropper with its nozzle kept in the water, air in the dropper is seen to escape in the form of bubbles. Once we release the pressure on the bulb, water gets filled in the dropper. The rise of water is due to what? Let us say this is a glass of water. This water, and we push it, what is called? Dropper. There is a bulb, rubber bulb. This is a tube. So when we press the bulb of the dropper, the air in the bulb will come out from here. And you can see air bubbles, that the air is coming out of the dropper. And when you release the bulb, the water will enter the dropper. Why does it enter? Because the air pressure will push the water inside the dropper. Initially, when you don't press the bulb, the atmospheric pressure in the dropper and outside is equal. The pressure within the dropper and the pressure outside the dropper is same. But when you press the bulb, some air will come out of the dropper and escape. So the pressure inside the dropper will come down. Since the pressure inside the dropper is less than the pressure outside is atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. This pressure will be more than the pressure inside the dropper once some air has escaped from the dropper. And the atmospheric pressure will push the water inside the dropper. So the answer is D, atmospheric pressure. Okay, that completes our exercise of the chapter 8. Okay, please like my video, share it with your friends, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.